I tripped on the wires and caused a bit of a mess.
Oh, that reminds me of the time you started a fire in the studio, and the time you dropped boiling hot coffee on the computers, and the time
Anyways, are you excited about our new Apache news team?
Yes, we have almost double the people than we did last year, 31 instead of 18.
So many new faces, it feels almost foreign.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get to know everyone and make new friends here at APN.
Well, let's finally put our new members to work. The show started. I'm Terry.
And I'm Amish. Welcome to Apache News Show 1.
Hallway and ID mandates have caused our Apaches to feel flustered, and these guidelines might be confusing. With safety in mind, here's Maryam with the inside scoop.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? What's your pass?
Has this happened to you this school year? I think I might know why. Recently, security guards have been more vigilant about the activity on campus. This means needing hallway and teacher aid passes to walk around, and showing your ID while walking into campus after lunch. We talked to a senior who has faced the difficulties of these guidelines firsthand.
It has been very tough with all these new strict guidelines because as a senior I expected a little more freedom than I did my prior years. There's also been truancies when you do not claim absence. As a student, there's just so much going on, so it's hard to sometimes claim absence, so it's just been very tough.
To address these confusions about the rules, we have Ms. Duberg to talk about the common misconceptions and issues students are having.
Well, the biggest priority is school safety, always. We want all of our students to be safe, our staff, and as a whole community to be safe. So using rules that we already have, that we've always had, that are not new, we're just making sure that kids are in class, that people on campus have a purpose.
Though this goes much further than just being out of class too long. Here's Dr. Dillman to give us more perspective on this.
It's my #1 job to keep everyone here safe, and sometimes that means enforcing some rules that might not be popular, but we all watch the news and we know what's going on around our country, and it's really, really serious what can happen in schools, and I never want anything to happen here at school to make anyone unsafe, and that's why it's really important that we know where students are, you are where you're supposed to be, and that you're in class, you're with your friends, and you're learning.
Using Amish as an example, this would not have happened if he carried a hallway pass and or his school ID to identify himself.
Remember, Apaches, don't be like Amish. Always carry your hallway and or ID and stay safe. Back to you guys in the studio.
Why does the soccer ball curse so much?
I don't know.
Because it gets a kick out of it. And if you get a kick out of soccer, girls soccer tryouts are on September 26th at the Civic Center from 3:45 to 5 p.m. If you can't make it on this date, there will be another opportunity on September 27th at the Arcadia High soccer field at 3:15 p.m. Remember to turn in your clearance forms to the athletic office beforehand.
Over the summer, the school district implemented something new in the restroom of some campuses. Let's go to Nicole to find out what this change is and how it came to be.
Starting this school year, both pads and tampons are offered for free in dispensers in all girls' restrooms and one boys' restroom on campus. The State Assembly passed AB 367, also known as the Menstrual Equity for All Act. Public schools containing grades 6 to 12 must stock all women's restrooms, gender-neutral restrooms, and at least one men's restroom with menstrual products.
Once the law was in place and the governor signed it, it was our responsibility to make sure that we implemented what the rules say. So, you know, we're all about supporting students and making sure that there's no barriers to their education.
Great for young girls to have that convenience, and also maybe they can't afford these products, and it just destigmatizes, periods. I think it'll make them feel a lot more comfortable about, having a uterus in general. Also, there might be female to male transgender students at the school, and I think that having that is a great way to let them know, hey, whatever you choose to do with your body, there's support here.
It's very useful and resourceful because a lot of people can't afford, or a lot of people just forget, because I'm very forgetful.
Good to give support to the people that can't provide it for themselves, and I think it's just good to have it just in case.
It's a great addition to the restroom just for the females. I think it's going to help them in the long run.
Overall, this addition has had positive impact on the student community. This is the beginning of more awareness of menstrual cycles, which is something that half of our student population goes through.
If you are a senior, then the time to send in your senior quotes is imminently approaching. Submit the Google form down below before Friday, October 28th at 11:59 p.m. Leave your mark in Arcadia High School history by choosing a quote that is meaningful to you, something funny, or to just match with your friends.
In the past few weeks, the temperatures here in California have been substantially higher, partly due to the level of carbon emissions in the atmosphere. Here's Hayden to report on how the state is solving this problem and how we citizens can help.
Climate change has been a prominent issue for almost 50 years, but temperatures this year has been unusually high for the season. In attempts to solve this issue, California legislature recently passed a couple of climate bills dealing with carbon emissions and power.
This year's heat wave came unusually late, and on Sunday, September 4th, it had reached a whopping temperature of 111 degrees Fahrenheit. Most of the blame can be put on us for the ever-growing greenhouse gases. Here is Mr. Carranza to explain more to us about the greenhouse gases.
When we look at global temperatures rising because of these greenhouse gases, we know that causes more extreme weather events more frequently, like the heat wave that we're experiencing.
To combat carbon emissions, the legislature recently passed a record-breaking $54 billion bill in climate spending, as well as a mandate for California to reduce greenhouse gas emissions at least 40% by 2030. As for how the community can help, we bring you Giselle Meeks from the Evergreen Club.
People can try to drive less, carpool with friends, or take the bus, because everything that you do will add on to the carbon emissions from cars. And I know it's been super hot and super humid, but set your temperature to about 78 degrees or lower instead of putting the temperature so low.
If we continue on this trend, it will be hard to imagine what our future holds. Hopefully you've learned something about how we as citizens can contribute to this effort. This has been Hayden Wong, and back to you.
Terry, what are you most looking forward to this new APN year?
I'm looking forward to having fun with new projects outside of school and maybe even a trip.
To be honest, I just want to make memories and be done with college apps.
When?
When what?
When did I ask?
Well, our crew went out and asked Apaches what they are most looking forward to, and here's what they thought.
This school year, I'm looking forward to graduating.
Surviving calc class.
Probably just making some new friends.
Summer break.
Being done with high school.
To the new friendships that I'm gonna make.
I don't know.
I am looking forward to passing all my classes.
I gotta say the sports.
That the kids behave better. No more vandalism in the restrooms, please.
Getting good grades on all my tests.
That's a good question.
The gym. Basketball.
Getting a good grade during Spanish.
Meeting new people. Probably something to do with color guard.
My good grades, hopefully.
Passing APs.
Prom, homecoming, just try to make some senior moments, I guess.
Making friends.
Poco.
Oh, homecoming.
Having fun with friends.
What he said.
To pass.
Anyone interested in trying out for the boys golf team must attend an informational meeting on Thursday, September 22nd in room H111 at lunch. For additional information, please contact Coach Greep at ourgreep@usd.net. Good luck to those trying out.
Last week, it was announced that the Queen of England had unfortunately passed away. Well, many events occurred during her lifetime, and her legacy will not be forgotten. Here's Kiley with a look back on Queen Elizabeth II's life and the future of the royal family.
On September 8th, 2022, Queen Elizabeth, one of the most well-known figures in our modern society, has unfortunately passed away. Born on April 21st, 1926, Queen Elizabeth lived an incredible life of 96 years. She reigned in England for over 70 years after her father, King George VI, passed away in 1952.
The Queen was a figurehead, certainly not the acting head of state for England, but England is one of the most powerful nations in the world. She's been the figurehead. She had been the figurehead for 70 plus years. During her reign, she saw 7 different popes, 15 different prime ministers, and 14 different United States presidents. That's an incredible run.
Her passing was announced at 4:30 p.m. local time, or 8:30 a.m. here in Arcadia. The news was posted by her son, King Charles III, on their official Twitter. With the absence of the Queen, many people are left wondering, how will King Charles take on his new role?
In a way, King Charles actually has less power now that he is the monarch. As Prince Charles, he was able to speak out on some issues that might or might not be seen as political. A big issue for him is climate change. He was actually going to convene a large conference about climate change the day that the Queen died. Now that he is a constitutional monarch, Charles might find himself actually less able to voice his political opinions.
Her funeral will be held on September 19th at Westminster Abbey, and she will be buried at Windsor Castle, England. We send our best wishes to the royal family and longevity to their future monarchs. Back to Terry and Amish in the studio.
If you are a sophomore, junior, or senior, applications for the 2023 spring semester CSF memberships are open now through Friday, September 30th at 3:30 p.m. Applications are accessible to students only through their grade-specific CSF Google Classroom. If you have any questions, please visit their website at the link down below. An informational meeting will be held this Friday, September 16th during lunch at the lecture hall. Terry, it's hard to believe it's been an entire summer without our Apaches playing sports.
I know, right? I'm so glad everyone is back on the field and court.
Yeah, and the pool. Yeah. Our recent sports streams were also amazing, to say the least.
Yup. Also, have you heard about the soccer game that was canceled in the jungle?
No, what happened?
There were too many cheetahs.
Anyways, let's send it to Ethan Chen so he can catch us up on the sports of the week and give us an update on our sports teams. The spotlight is on you, Ethan.
Thanks, Amish. So far, sports in Arcadia looks great. From pool to field, we've got the season rolling with many big wins. And although we're not perfect, our sports team are striving for a great year ahead of us. Recently, a sport that's been dominating the scene is boys water polo. Let's have Jacob recap their game this past Tuesday against Baldwin Park.
Thanks, Ethan. Our boys have had a great start to their season with a current record of 4-2. Last Friday, our team dominated their game against San Dimas and ended up winning with an 11-point lead with a final score of 16-5. This past Tuesday, the boys picked up yet another huge win against Baldwin Park. Although Baldwin Park did not have a JV team, Arcadia still competed with a mix of varsity and JV. They were able to end the game with a final score of 23-1. The score alone speaks on how determined our team is to have a dominant season. I can't wait to see what our boys have in store for us next game. Back to you, Ethan.
Our triumphant girls tennis team has also been working hard to try and prove yet another Pacific League title. Last season, our Lady Apaches proved that they were among the best of all the teams in SoCal. Through their unmatched skill and sheer presence on the courts, they're back to prove themselves once again. Let's go to Afiq to recap their game against Pasadena.
Thanks, Ethan. As you mentioned earlier, our girls tennis team is one of the best in the state currently, and yesterday they had one of their first league games.
Our girls are coming to this season with high hopes after having a 15-0 overall season run and an undefeated league run of 9-0 last year. They cannot be stopped and power through the competition. Yesterday, the girls won their first game of this year and already have gone off to a fierce start to the top. With the final score ending at 18-0, let's hope they keep it up for the rest of the season.
After that outstanding performance, I'm definitely going to go see more tennis games, and now back to you in the studio, Ethan.
Tennis and water polo aren't the only teams working hard. Here's a recap of all the other amazing sports games that went on this week. On Tuesday, girls tennis team won 18-0 against Hoover, and volleyball won 3-0 against Mirror. On Wednesday, tennis lost 7-11 against Westridge, and yesterday, volleyball won 3-0 against Hoover. Today, make sure to support our water polo team for the Western Tourney. It's safe to assume that us Apaches aren't going to get tired of all these wins in the near future. In any case, we hope that all the sports teams playing have a great rest of the season and go on to achieve big things. This has been Ethan Chen reporting, the first of a long line of Apache sports. Back to Amish and Terry in the studio.
Well, Terry, I'd say this first show went pretty smoothly.
Yup, I'm actually pretty impressed with our new crew.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised.
I think this sets a great start for the rest of the year. As our show wraps up, make sure to follow all our social medias down below.
Next week, our show will be on Thursday during 4th period, but future shows will be on Fridays at 12:30 p.m. Stream us at the end of your 4th period classes for the latest news.
Thank you all for watching. This has been Terry Cheung
and Amish. We'll see you next Thursday, Apaches.